as most of y'all know, I go back and forth a lot. And then I see shit like this, and I'm like, yeah.
The manual for courts martial. Let me just share again now. Just put the picture up very briefly. Now, this is the manual for courts martial, United States, 2023 edition. The preceding one was 2019, I think, and the one before that was 2016. Now, you've heard Derek Johnson cite chapter and verse on the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And the military has rules for everything. It really does. It really does. And for a good reason.
Everything.
And he's been laying the foundation with that work he's been doing. But what's been revealed recently is the manual for courts martial has been amended a couple of times by Donald Trump. Now, the President authorized to amend the manual for courts martial with advice from the appropriate military authorities. So, what does that mean? Well, since 1984, the manual for courts martial has been amended by every president. And progressively what they have done is they've been changing the rules, particularly to do with jurisdiction, where an individual may be charged and when that charge will be heard. They've been changing the jurisdiction, they've been changing the rules to make it more difficult for the authorities to hold crooked presidents, congressmen, senators, the deep state generally, three-letter agencies, the lot, to make it almost impossible for them to hold them to account. And Obama, as you can imagine, changed it a lot to protect the crooks. We have a similar point of view, a similar action by Malcolm Turnbull when he was Prime Minister, changing the definition of treason so he couldn't be charged with treason. And once you change the law, you can't retrospectively charge an individual for something that wasn't a crime in the past. So Malcolm will get off that particular charge, but there's plenty he was going to go down for. So what happened was, Donald Trump got into power, as we know. It was never planned. Hillary was supposed to get in, but he got in. He won it. Fair and square, he was a legitimate president of the US corporation and commander-in-chief. And so he's adjusted the manual for courts martial to the extent where everything that the black hats were doing from the top down was now a crime. And if they committed that again, they could be charged. And so they had to wait. And they changed the manual for courts martial. And over the last few years, whilst they've been moving as fast as they can, it's not like they waited in terms of taking action. No, they were moving fast. And we'll talk about the complexity of this global operation in a minute, just to blow your mind on how tough this is. So while they got to work dismantling the deep state, dismantling the cabal members and everybody just kept committing the same crimes, which now means that they can charge under these new court-martial rules everybody that needs to be charged, which is brilliant. And it also includes civilians, because civilians previously would say, well, you can't do this is illegal, the book says you can't do that. Well, no, they can.
I hope they get all the people who are fucking with ICE and everything.
And so civilians can be charged under a court-martial. And courts-martial are different to civilian courts.
Whole lot.
Very, very different. And if you've been following the transcripts of those that have already been the military tribunals that have been held, both offshore on US naval vessels and elsewhere, where the charges are read, the sealed indictment is open, the charges are read, the accused gets a chance to defend themselves, they're found guilty and executed almost immediately.
Yep.
And most of them go screaming, saying, this is unlawful, this is unlawful. Sorry, folks, it's very lawful. You can be a civilian and tried. Now, here's the good part for us, because then you've got a bunch of Australians saying, well, this is Australia. That has nothing to do with us. Well, folks, since you turned this into a corporation and you've been enjoying the benefits of the Australian corporation, and since the US controls Australia, guess what? Australian civilians are now subject to this manual for courts martial. They're all for the high jump. All of them. Nobody gets away. These last few weeks, months are going to be excruciating because the White Hats want to make sure that they get absolutely everybody.
Bring it on.
This time, nobody escapes.
bring it on.
That doesn't mean everybody's going to be harmed, because not everybody's done something that's worthy of capital punishment. But everyone is going to be gotten to. So get a hold of the Manual for Courts Martial, have a look at it, skim through it, read through it, you'll understand it. It's military writing is very clear. It's a very big document, but it is the basis by which all these people are going to go down. And that's the great news. They're going down courtesy of that. And the military is very not like civilian life. Military courts, military
It's not.
punishments,
Nope.
they're all going down.
And it all clicked again for me. Like, I literally go back and forth all the time, y'all. I'm not kidding you. But when I saw... First off, I love that band. Second off, when I saw that, I finally then realized why it was taking so long. Because, A, all these people are just like, oh, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. They're not waking up for anything. Second off, they have to make the same crimes in the same jurisdiction in order to go after them. Once they change the territory. Yeah. And if you learn about sovereignty and how all that works, maybe the ants that go marching down will go down as well. Anyways, I love you all. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.